Well, as it turns out, the Rockies were just what the doctor ordered. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Thursday here on Dodgers Latest. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Of course, hit me up right there on Instagram and on X. And of course, you can always follow us, comments, like, subscribe, share here on our YouTube channel as Dodgers Latest. As we're getting ready down for the home stretch, Dodgers a much-needed sweep of the Colorado Rockies. And boy, they turned out to be just what the doctor ordered, like we talked about. Dodgers ended up beating the Rockies 11 of the 13 meetings. And the Dodgers, thanks to the Reds taking care of business against the Padres, the Dodgers wake up on Thursday with a 3-game lead over the San Diego Padres to win the National League West. And now we can actually start to talk about magic numbers, right? The Dodger magic number is 13 to win the National League West. Remember, all the Dodgers need to do is finish tied with the Padres. If both teams make the playoffs, if the Dodgers and Padres are tied, the Dodgers will win the division by virtue of a tiebreaker against the Padres. So really, the Dodgers have a 4-game lead. The Padres have to win the division outright. All the Dodgers have to do is just tie the Padres. But the Dodgers are starting to peak while San Diego is starting to stumble. And of course, huge weekend coming up for both sides. 3 teams involved. 4 teams, really, if you talk about the Reds. Dodgers will be in San Francisco starting tomorrow, Friday. The Rockies move from LA to San Diego, while the Phillies, the Dodgers are 4 games behind the Phillies for the number 2 seed. They are at home against Kansas City. And meanwhile, the San Francisco Giants, the dreaded bad guys from the North, they're only 2 games behind the Mets for the final wild card spot. They're tied with the Reds, 2 games behind the Mets for that final wild card spot. So isn't it fitting that all of a sudden the Giants season now is going to be coming up against the Dodgers season? In terms of the Dodgers, the next 7 of the next 10 games, the Dodgers will face the San Francisco Giants. They have a weekend in San Francisco, then the Dodgers come home, play the Phillies, oh, by the way, for 3, and then a 4-game series with the Giants. So Dodgers and Giants have much work to get to. Let's break down last night before we look ahead. We'll do that tomorrow on the Friday edition of Dodgers Latest as the Dodgers and Giants get ready to renew some old rivalries. But LA, a little bit more breathing room, now up 3 in the division over the Padres. And last night, I'll tell you what, it's contagious, right? One pitcher does well, another one does well, and it just becomes something that you want to sort of show up your other teammates in a good way. Blake Snell, 6 shutout innings, 11 Ks. Dodgers shut out the Rockies 9-0. And look at that. The last 5 starts, Dodger starters have held their opponents to an .091 batting average with 49 strikeouts. Folks, that has never been done in a 5-game stretch in the history of baseball. That is wild. And I get it. It was the Orioles and the Rockies. Before you poo-poo that, the Pirates, Orioles, gave the Dodgers a rough time. The Dodgers struggled in Colorado. Dodgers got swept by the Angels. So you play who you play, and the Dodgers are putting on some heavy-duty stuff. And if you go back to the last 6 starts, if you count Ohtani, so this is Snell, Sheehan, Glasnow, Kershaw, Yamamoto, and Ohtani. The last 6 Dodgers starters have an ERA of 1.18. And they're averaging almost 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. In those 6 starts, they have 54 strikeouts. They have found it, and they are healthy. And man, that 6-man rotation is deadly with Ohtani. And of course, the question is, what do you do with Ohtani? We talked about it yesterday. Does he become the closer in the postseason? What do you do with Emmett Sheehan? I think Emmett Sheehan may be kind of one of those bulk guys. Maybe you if you have Ohtani as a starter, you go Ohtani, then you go Sheehan back-to-back to try to extend it. Tell you what, the Dodgers are in good shape. The bad part is the end of the bullpen, the back half. Those last, 24, 25, 26, 27th out. Who's going to do it? Do you trust Tanner Scott? I can't say that I do right now. I trust Blake Trinan, kinda. I trust Alex Vessa, kinda. I almost want to see Ohtani as the closer. Would love to hear what you think about that. But the front half of that, the first 6-7 innings of this game are in great shape. The way this juggernaut of starting pitching has been put together. And, of course, good rest today off and off to San Francisco for a big weekend with the Giants. But pretty pretty historic stuff. Dodgers are concerned now about their catcher. Will Smith was scratched from last night's game. Remember, he got a foul ball off his right hand in Pittsburgh? Well, it flared up and swole up on him before the game last night. He was scratched 15 minutes before. So the question is that going to be a lingering thing? Dave Roberts says it's not going to be a problem. Will has had a great offensive year, was leading the National League in hitting most of the year. Got into a bad August slump, seemed to be getting out of it, and then he took that foul ball to the hand. Dodgers, of course, their backup catcher, Dalton Rushing, he's on the injured list. He fouled the ball off his shin in Baltimore, so he's on the 10-day IL, retroactive to September 6th. So we probably won't see him until the Dodgers come home against the Phillies early next week. So he's banged up. So they've brought up this kid named Ben Rortvedt. Now, who is Ben Rortvedt? Well, he has been great behind the plate. He even had a couple of hits in last night's game. Dodgers got him in a trading deadline deal with the Rays on July 31st. A bunch of minor leaguers, maybe people you've never heard of, but Ben Rortvedt all of a sudden has been thrust into the rotation now as the number one catcher. It's crazy. Well, he was behind the plate for the Yamamoto near no-hitter in Baltimore, and he's done a great job during this. He's been behind the plate for most of this, historic run by the Dodgers pitching. So Ben Rortvedt, remember that name? Don't expect anything out of him offensively, although, hey, if he does, that's great. But he's been handling the catching well, and he's going to be the guy. I mean, I don't know if Will Smith will be available in San Francisco this weekend. Sure hope so because of the bat, in addition to what he does as a catcher. But today's a day off. Dodgers hoping that will sort of, let the hand rest some more. We'll see. We'll see if he plays over the weekend. Dodgers have already announced their starting rotation. Giants have not. It'll be interesting to see what the Dodgers do with Will Smith, as it's going to be Yamamoto, Kershaw, and Glasnow over the weekend in San Francisco. Heavy-duty stuff. We'll see what the Giants put out there. I'm sure we'll see their ace, Logan Webb, at one point or another. But we hope Will gets better. But I'll tell you what, Ben Rortvedt has been holding it down. Crazy what those trading deadlines do, right? We criticize the Dodgers, and deservedly so, for not picking up those big-name guys. But this random guy that they got in a random trade for a bunch of minor leaguers from Tampa, Ben Rortvedt, has been as key as anybody so far in this stretch as we get down into the end of September and, of course, into the October playoff push. And who is in their playoff mode? How about Mookie Betts? His fifth straight game with multiple RBIs. He had a 4-hit, 5 RBI game last night, including a grand slam. Mookie hitting .342, 7 homers, 26 RBIs, 20 runs scored his last 30 games. And, of course, he tied Matt Kemp for the franchise record for consecutive games with multiple RBIs, right? At least 2 in 5 straight games. And he's reached base 16 straight games. He has definitely broken out of this funk. Great to see Mookie. And we keep bringing it up because you know what? Mookie Betts is a guy you can't help but root for. And he had so many struggles this year. And, of course, there was talking about, he shouldn't be playing shortstop, put him back out in the right field. Hey, and I was one of those guys that I think, hey, he would have helped the team better playing right field. But, man, he is a damn good shortstop. Man, another great play into the hole last night. Maybe he was right all along. And it turns out he needs to be playing shortstop because he has been an absolute brilliant Gold Glover at short with an outfielder arm. And now that the bat has woken up, look out. Look out. Well, of course, today is a somber day, September 11th, the 24th anniversary of the terrorist attack in New York. And, we say it a lot, never forget, never forget. And for me, and I was lucky enough in that I'm a West Coast kid, even though I worked at ESPN for a long time. I didn't know anybody that lost their lives in that tower. I really didn't know anybody that was directly affected by what went down in September 11th. But I do have a great story that I share every September 11th. And again, to me, it shows you the power of baseball and how it's something that we will always remember. I've got a buddy named Gary. He's a West Coast kid, too. He's a big Giants fan. So he and I have always gone round and round. And Gary, I had a business trip to New York the weekend before September 11th. And he's a crazy monster baseball fan. And the Yankees were playing the Red Sox on September 11th, on September 10th. September 10th, the Red Sox were playing the Yankees, and Roger Clemens was going for his 20th win. So he is a big baseball fan, had never been to old Yankee Stadium, so he got a bunch of his co-workers, and they went to Yankee Stadium on September the 10th. Well, as it turns out, it was an ugly day. It was a rain out. They didn't play this, that, and the other. They ended up going out to the city, and at the end of the day, Gary overslept on September 11th and wasn't in the tower for a meeting he was supposed to be at. He was late. Of course, the meeting never happened. The attacks happened. So to this day, Gary, who was single, now he's married with kids, keeps that ticket stub in his wallet. Just shows you the power of baseball, the power of getting together to watch a baseball game, to watch a game. And I'm not going to go as crazy to say that it saved his life, but it definitely shows you the impact that baseball makes in all our lives. And of course, baseball was so front and center during the days after 9/11. Remember George Bush throwing the first pitch at Yankee Stadium. Yankees ended up making a World Series run that year. Mike Piazza hitting that big home run at Shea Stadium the first day back. First games back. It was a wild time, and I'll always remember my buddy Gary, and I wish him nothing but health. As you know, we've always said, you know, being gamblers, you know, he's on house money right now, and he's made the most of it with a family and kids. But it is 9/11. Take a minute, never forget. If you're lucky enough to not have anybody that was affected, still, you know, think about it. And with all that's going on in the world, let's not forget how important each day is. And Dodgers will take this day off, open up a weekend in San Francisco, and we get back into the fun part is watching baseball and talking about a pennant chase. I'm Jim Rodriguez. I wish you nothing but good health. And remember, it's always time for Dodger baseball.